Okay, so let's have a look at setting up signature stamps within the Dynamic Connect PDF product. So I've got a PDF open. You can see a signature box down here, and I want to apply a signature stamp. Now I've already got one set up here for my colleague Don Bradman. If I wanted to apply this signature, I just click on the signature, and in the middle of the box, so if I get that just right, perfect. Maybe drag it over just a touch and get that exactly where I want it to. So there we go. This is applying a graphical representation of a signature on an electronic document because we're not printing anymore. We're doing it all electronically. And so this is a very common requirement. But let's say I didn't want to do Don Bradman's signature, but I actually wanted to do my own signature. First thing to do, grab a piece of paper, a pen, sign the piece of paper, get your signature just right, then take a photo of that signature. Make sure you get the light right, watch out for shadows, and get a nice picture of your signature. Then email it to yourself, save it to your computer. Once you've got it saved on your computer, you can then open up just 1 second. You can open up your signature. So I've just located it in Windows Explorer, and I've double clicked on it. Now this is opened in Paint. Paint's fine for what we need to do. If you use some kind of other graphics editor, that's fine. I won't cover that. I'm just using the most basic Paint. Now we can see the image is opened up and it's really big. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom in on the signature, and I'm just going to crop it a little bit. So I just want to take that little bit out of that end there, and this little bit out of this end, and maybe just bring it down a touch. So that's just cropping the image and getting rid of the extra white space. So get that to where you want it to be. You can then save that. And you might want to make a copy, do a save as. So you've got the original full-sized image. Then once you've got the image to crop to the size that cropped to what you want, so it looks just right up on screen, we then need to resize it. So if I go to this little widget up here, resize and skew, click on pixels, we can see this is actually a really large image. So 3743. If I use that as the stamp would cover more than the A4 page. It'd be wider than an A4 page. So we want to make the image appropriate for a stamp. And so I use the vertical. I just change the vertical to 33 pixels high. With this little widget in the middle, that means that it will actually change the horizontal and maintain the aspect ratio, so it doesn't skew the image. Do that, click OK. All right, now we've got an image. Now I'd zoomed out, so I'm going to zoom back in. I'm actually going to take my zoom to 100%. So on a page, it's going to be about that. It's going to be a little bit different actually. But anyway, let's 33 pixels high, maintain the aspect ratio, and we're good. Okay, so I've got my image ready. Now I need to add the stamp. So go to the plus, and when you click plus, there's two options, create and create custom dynamic stamp. We just want to create a stamp. Okay, and then that requests for an image. So I'm going to click browse. And when I click browse, it happens to go directly to my signatures folder. Now, it's blank because it's looking for a PDF file. We're going to use a different file. We're going to use a JPEG, which is pretty much the standard. When you take a photo on a mobile phone and email it to yourself, you should be getting a JPEG out. So I'm going to select that one. Click open. And then there we go. So that's what it's going to look like. I'm going to add it to the signatures group. Now I already have a signatures group. If you don't have signatures group, that's not a standard. You just type in signatures and it will create the group for you. And I'm going to call this one Derek Lawton. Okay. Okay. And so there we go. There's my signature. And I can now ping it right in the middle. Bang. There's a stamp. And that's just the right size there. Now, obviously, if you wanted a slightly larger stamp, you could save that image as a slightly larger. You could actually have different size stamps for different applications. You can If you want to resize it to be bigger, you can, but it will pixelate. It's probably better to have a slightly larger stamp, and then you can resize down. But if you're using a 33 height pixel signature, I generally find that's good size for this document. You can see it in relationship to the rest of the document there. And that's how we set up signature stamps. And you can set up as many as you like there. And hopefully that gets you off and running. Thank you.